Is the burnt bridge with my brother unfixable?
I don't hate your brother. You guys need to fight guys your the same size.
Tank Davis is not the face of boxing because he doesn't fight often. He fights once a year. Tank Davis, I dare you to break my record. 5 world title fights in 1 year. Let's go.
I want people to grasp onto, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and then on the other side, the pro, because that's a con for me, for Jake, and it's like, it's not his fault, but like, it's just like, what we doing? Yeah. But a pro is, he do like, he got his own promotional company.
I want to side bet you. I got Jake winning.
We already side betted though.
We already did. What was the bet?
200.
Let's go 250.
Let's go 500.
No, hell no. See, Jake, that's what Jake.
Come on, wow. You have to take it, bro.
Jake, y'all are making $50 million for this on Netflix. I can't do it. You split the bet with me, 250, 250.
Easy. Let's make it $1 million.
Whoa.
Dana White absolutely went off. The UFC boss didn't hold back when he was asked about Jake Paul versus Gervonta Davis, and his message was blunt. Jake Paul needs to fix himself.
Bro, you took a knee in the last fight. Like, you should have got 2 points taken off, bro. He has a lot of holes in his defense. No one has ever pressed him. You tattooed your name on your forehead so you wouldn't forget, you dumbass.
That's not my name, dumbass. That's my daughter's name, dumbass. And my son's name, dumbass. And again, you got a mohawk.
Dana pointed back to Logan's exhibition against Floyd Mayweather. In that fight, he reminded Logan how Floyd was much smaller, but Logan still absorbed all of Floyd's punches because of the size gap. That's exactly the same kind of mismatch he sees with Jake and Tank. According to Dana, Paul once again is entering into a fight against someone far smaller, and that's where the problem begins. He said the Paul brothers' biggest issue isn't heart or effort, it's weight. They should stick to fighting at their own weight class instead of chasing undersized opponents.
Is the burnt bridge with my brother unfixable?
I don't hate your brother. You guys need to fight guys your same size. When you fought Floyd, you are massive. He did hit you with a fucking bomb, and you fucking ate it. He's gonna fight Gervonta Davis.
But Dana didn't stop there. He gave his own prediction too. He acknowledged Tank Davis hits harder than Floyd ever did, but he admitted Tank's size could be a serious problem when facing someone like Jake. In Dana's eyes, Jake Paul's size advantage means he'll lean on Tank, tie him up, and maybe even wear him down. The conversation then drifted lightheartedly to Logan's wish to fight Floyd again, but Dana instantly dismissed the idea, once again pointing back to weight classes as the reason it would never make sense.
Who do you got? Gervonta, I think, hits way harder than Floyd, but he's too small. Your brother's gonna be able to get inside on him, put his weight on him, tie him up.
I hear your critique on fighting guys the same size as you. Is that why you guys wouldn't let me fight Conor?
Yeah, you're fucking huge. Conor weighs 145 pounds, 155 pounds.
Yeah, but he says he can beat me.
Outside of Dana, other voices have piled on with their own opinions. KSI, who has been feuding with Jake Paul for years, didn't mince words either. He brushed the whole thing aside, saying, "This matchup doesn't deserve attention and no one actually cares about it." To him, this is the type of fight that fans shouldn't even bother investing energy in, and he made it sound like the hype is forced rather than real.
Jake Paul versus Gervonta Davis.
Oh, I don't care. I don't think anyone cares, man. No one cares. No one cares.
Dylan Dennis, another fighter who has never missed an opportunity to slam Jake Paul, also chimed in. He dismissed the matchup as a complete joke. According to him, the entire event is about money grabs, with both fighters looking for a bag instead of putting on a real sporting contest. To Dennis, it was just another example of how boxing is getting watered down by influencer-driven fights that prioritize spectacle over substance.
What do you make of Tank versus Gervonta versus
It's a joke.
Jake Paul?
It's a joke, you know. Yeah, it's a joke. It's gonna be like Mike Tyson. It's gonna be a sparring match, and after they're gonna just steal everybody's money. Same
You
thing.
gonna watch it?
No.
Even Raleigh Romero added his voice to the wave of criticism. He went after Tank Davis for even agreeing to face Jake Paul. Romero said Davis has great attributes but lacks real skills compared to top-level competition, and he blasted Tank for stepping into a matchup that made him look weak. He highlighted the obvious size difference, pointing out how small Davis looked standing across from Paul at the face-off. In Romero's eyes, Davis looked fragile, and the whole fight lost credibility from the moment they went face-to-face.
But the last time I said somebody was going to be bigger, they weren't that much bigger. But I think in this case, somebody's actually a lot bigger, so.
Did you see the face-off? Like he's like a lot bigger. Even though I know it's like 195 is gonna be the limit, but it's still like Tank Fight's at 30, 35.
Is that the rehydration limit or?
They asked him about rehydration and they said no comment. So I don't know what's going on with that.
That's scary.
Then came Oscar De La Hoya, another legendary voice in boxing, who decided to aim his fire directly at Tank Davis. Oscar criticized Davis for not being consistent and accused him of not living up to what a true face of boxing should be. He noted that Davis fights very rarely in a year, which for him shows a lack of seriousness, and then he threw down a challenge, daring Tank to break his own record of winning 5 world titles in a single year. For De La Hoya, if Davis wants to call himself the face of boxing, he has to prove it by fighting more often and chasing records instead of sideshow events.
Tank Davis is not the face of boxing because he doesn't fight often. He fights once a year. And he's probably one of the best talents in the world. I love Tank Davis. I love watching him fight. I love when he goes in the ring and just demonstrates power and speed and he doesn't give a shit. I love that. But he has to fight more often. We want to see Tank fight 3-4 times a year. Tank Davis, I dare you to break my record. 5 world title fights in 1 year. Let's go. You think he's lost?
Ryan Garcia also weighed in, and his opinion lined up closely with Dana White's. Ryan has been openly critical of Jake Paul versus Gervonta Davis since the day it was announced, calling it delusional. For Garcia, the size gap is simply too outrageous to ignore. Jake Paul is 6'1" and has weighed as much as 227 pounds in his 12-1 career. Tank Davis, on the other hand, is only 5 feet 5 inches and usually weighs in at 135 pounds. To Garcia, the math doesn't lie. The fight is unfair from the jump.
Jake Paul versus Tank, right?
Oh, yeah.
Like, everyone's talking about it. It's a whole thing. A lot of people liked it, didn't like it. Yeah. How did you feel when you first like saw that it was a thing?
It pissed me the off, bro.
Yeah,
like,
why?
It's just disappointing on mainly Jake's end. You know, we're not falling for the Disney Channel bit no more. We're not falling for you're not a fighter no more. We're not falling for that. You know, you're ranked as a cruiserweight and you're out here trying to fight a lightweight. And then on top of it, you were just talking about fighting Anthony Joshua. That doesn't make no sense. And, you know, I just felt like it was a disgrace to boxing and kind of it was not a good move by Jake Paul. You know, I understand people saying, you know, Gervonta got to go get his money, you know, blah, blah, blah. But, like, we're not talking about that. We're talking about the sport.
Lamont Roach Jr. also gave his thoughts, and his reaction might have been the harshest of all. Speaking on the Danza Project, Roach compared the whole matchup to WWE, calling it fixed. He said boxing used to be a sport where fans grabbed popcorn, sat down, and knew they were in for a real fight. Now, with influencer-driven matches, he feels like the sport is slipping into exhibition territory where integrity no longer matters. Roach said he's all for fighters getting paid, but this one doesn't make sense.
I was gonna ask you. Paul bring more views. For sure. So it's like a slippery slope with him for me. The whole YouTube boxer thing, you gotta think, a nigga like me been boxing since I was 9 years old. I ain't have $1 million payday until I 14. Jake Paul can not box for all his life, decide he wanna box, and come and make multi-million dollars after we've been busting our whole life. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the I want people to grasp onto, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and then on the other side, the pro, because that's a con for me, for Jake, and it's like, it's not his fault, but like, it's just like, what we doing? Yeah. But a pro is, he do like, he got his own promotional company.
He stressed again the weight difference, pointing out how Jake Paul is basically a 200-pounder fighting a 135-pounder, and now they even have to move the fight elsewhere because regulators didn't approve it. For him, the whole thing is just another sign boxing is moving further away from its roots.
He helped women boxers are getting paid way more. And he probably, like, he's responsible for the ladies getting a bag. He's responsible for that. Yeah. He's responsible for younger prospects getting a bigger bag than normal with MVP promotions because some prospects don't get them type of payday. Yeah. They don't. Even if it's like, you know, a few $1,000s more, whatever the case may be, they don't get that. And on top of that, his platform gets more viewers than the average, you know, boxer coming up because he's Jake Paul.
The drama hasn't just stayed inside the ring or with the fighters either. Jake Paul, never one to miss a chance to make noise, showed up to a press conference in a blacked out Bugatti Chiron with streamer Aiden Ross by his side. The car, valued anywhere from $3 million to $6 million depending on its customization, had Paul's W logo plastered across it as part of a promotional stunt. Social media exploded, but fans were quick to question if this was genuine flexing or some sort of tax write-off.
All right, we're going up there. Oh, man. Going right up to this shit. Wrestling. Wrestling. Let's go. Here we go.
With only 500 Bugattis of that kind ever made, the entrance grabbed headlines, but many wondered if Paul was crossing a line by using luxury assets as promotional tools while trying to write them off as business expenses. It was peak Jake Paul, flashy, over the top, and sparking as much skepticism as hype.
I want to side bet you. I got Jake winning.
We already side betted though.
We already did. What was the bet?
200.
Let's go 250.
Let's go 500.
No, hell no. See, Jake, that's what Jake.
Come on, wow. You have to take it, bro.
Jake, y'all are making $50 million for this on Netflix. I can't do it. You split the bet with me, 250, 250.
Easy. Let's make it $1 million.
Whoa.
Let's make it 2.
Jake.
Let's make it 2.
Y'all gonna shake on it?
Yeah.
Shake on it?
Jake, $1 million.
$2 million?
2 mil?
2 mil. Let's do it.
2 mil. Right here, 2. 2 mil. Go ahead.
Jake, easy
Can
work,
we get
bro.
a shake?
2 mil?
Can we get a shake?
Oh, they're shaking left here.
And then came Jake Paul's own prediction for the fight, which added even more fuel to the fire. Paul told TMZ Sports he's going to knock Gervonta Davis out cold. And not just any knockout, he promised one of the most spectacular KOs in boxing history. He doubled down by saying the clip will go viral across the world and it will finally silence the critics who doubt his legitimacy as a fighter.
They can't use the steroid excuse because we have full-on random drug testing at any time. They could literally knock on my door right now. So they can't use that excuse. And obviously I'm suing people who say that the fights are rigged. Piers Morgan already had to retract his statement and kiss the ring. More lawsuits are coming for these people who are lying on my name because it's just simply not true, and we're willing to prove that in court. But I'm actually flattered that the only thing that people can chalk up these wins to is that the fights are rigged, because it's honestly the greatest compliment. But again, I'm gonna knock this guy out and probably create one of the most viral knockouts in the history of boxing.
Paul, now 28, has a record of 12 wins and 1 loss with 7 knockouts. His power has carried him this far, but fans and analysts still doubt whether he can actually deliver against someone as proven as Tank Davis.
Came up from the garden with a chocolate compliment. I like this process of the closet when it's in me. Things you only learn when you watch the documentary.
Paul, however, insists he's fully locked in. He said his training has been designed to maximize every part of his performance and that he feels better than ever. He also made it clear this fight will be drug tested with full supervision, leaving no room for accusations about steroids or rigging. For him, this fight is the moment to prove that he belongs in boxing and to shut down everyone calling him a fraud.
Yeah, no, I'm locked in. I know this is my toughest fight. He's undefeated, highly skilled, most experienced fighter I've fought. Top 5 pound for pound. So I have to have the best version of myself. I know how fast he is. I know how strong he is. I believe I'm stronger, more athletic, and that's my advantage going into the fight, but he pretty much has every other advantage. So I'm locked in, fully focused, feeling amazing already, and just going to put on a performance and have the biggest fight of 2025.
With Dana White calling Jake Paul out, Ryan Garcia labeling the fight delusional, KSI dismissing it as pointless, Dylan Dennis mocking it as a money grab, Raleigh Romero laughing at the size mismatch, Oscar De La Hoya questioning Tank's legacy, and Lamont Roach Jr. calling it WWE-style fixed, it's safe to say this matchup has sparked more criticism than praise. Even with Paul's Bugatti stunt and knockout promises, the overwhelming sentiment is that the fight is a circus.
Great fight, great matchup. It's fun for the sport of boxing. It makes it fun, it makes it entertaining. That's what it's all about. You know, and may the best man win. It's an exhibition regardless, it doesn't count.
Doesn't count? Yeah.
Yet despite all the hate, one thing remains true. Everyone's still talking about it. Whether people believe Jake Paul can actually pull off the KO he promised, or whether Tank Davis proves too skilled despite the size gap, this fight has managed to keep itself in the headlines day after day, and maybe at the end of the day, that's exactly what Jake Paul and Tank Davis wanted.
Who is the biggest star in boxing? Tank Davis. And joining the Keisa Badarian is Miami resident hip-hop star, influencer Ruby Rose. Jake Paul, Tank Davis, November 14th, live on Netflix. here at the Kaseya Center, Miami, Florida.
And that's the storm surrounding Jake Paul versus Gervonta Davis. From Dana White's blunt advice to fighters, to Ryan Garcia, KSI, Oscar De La Hoya, and even Lamont Roach Jr. throwing shade, this fight is pulling heat from every direction. But what do you think? Is this just another money grab circus, or does Jake Paul really stand a chance of shocking Tank Davis? Drop your thoughts in the comments, hit that subscribe button, and stay tuned, because this saga is only getting crazier from here.